Hello dear learners, I am Dr. Aasiya Mudasir. In the previous video, we discussed the meaning of reflective teaching, its steps and strategies for promoting reflective teaching. In this video, let's explore more. Dear learners, what if I tell you teachers are not just trained, they are shaped by different models. And these models decide whether a classroom becomes mechanical or meaningful. Some models train teachers through practice and repetition. Some focus on mastering specific competencies, while others encouraging questions, reflection, and critical thinking. So let's design the modern educator through structural models for teacher training and development. So in this video, we will explore three important models of teacher education: behavioristic model, the competency-based model, and the inquiry-oriented model. These are the three frameworks for developing teaching excellence. So let's discuss the first model, that is behavioristic model of teacher education. This model is based on behaviorism, where teaching is seen as observable behavior that can be trained through practice and reinforcement. इसका मतलब ये है कि इस मॉडल में ये है कि अगर टीचर ट्रेनी जो है अगर वो प्रैक्टिस करे अपने स्किल्स की और उसको प्रॉपर reinforcement मिलेगा थ्रू द ट्रेनर, so the teacher can become an effective teacher. So here the focus is on developing specific teaching behavior, वो टीचिंग बिहेवियर जो ऑब्जर्वेबल जो हम ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हैं. So let me take an example. First I will take the example other than teaching. We can first take the example of a boy who loves cricket and he struggles with batting. He loves and he struggles with batting. He often misses the ball and feels disappointed. So one day his coach told him, beta, batting is not just a talent, it is a practice. ये एक practice है, ये एक talent ही नहीं है. So the coach gave him a simple task. The task was, today you will only practice holding the bat correctly and your stance. The boy repeated the same action again and again, and the coach watched it carefully and said, good, but keep your eyes on the ball. The next day, the boy practiced it again. This time the coach said, better, now adjust your foot movements. So every day the boy practiced one small skill and each time he received feedback and correction. And after few weeks, जो ये boy है, he started hitting the ball confidently, his timing improved and he began scoring runs. He realized that his improvement came from continuous practice, repetition and feedback. तो यही इस behavioristic model में है कि अगर हम इस बच्चे को कंटिन्यूअस प्रैक्टिस कहेंगे करने को और रिपीटिशन करेगा, ये ड्रिल करेगा एंड इसको प्रॉपर फीडबैक मिलेगा तो ये एक अच्छा बैट्समैन बन सकता है. इसी तरह से वी कैन टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ अ टीचर ट्रेनी हु इज लर्निंग हाउ टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस इन द क्लास. Her trainer says, ask clear questions, wait for the responses and give feedback. So she practices this again and again and the trainer gives feedback each time. Over time, she improves. This is behavioristic training. Learning through practice, repetition and reinforcement. So, ये देखकर हमें पता चला कि इसके कुछ की फीचर्स है, इस behavioristic model के कुछ की फीचर्स हैं. वो ये हैं that its focus is on observable teaching skills and the use of drill and practice, feedback and reinforcement इसमें है and most commonly हम ये use करते हैं micro teaching में. So micro teaching is commonly used here. So like micro teaching में पहले practice की जाती है, फिर feedback दिया जाता है और reinforcement दी जाती है और उसको बोला जाता है टीचर ट्रेनिंग को कि आप repeat करो one skill at a time. So, for example, practicing how to introduce a lesson, ask questions, practice explaining concepts clearly. So this is what behavioristic model is all about. But this behavioristic model has certain limitations. मैंने एक पलटा भारी रखा है और एक हल्का रखा है. हल्का इसलिए रखा है क्योंकि it has some limitations. The limitation is that this model ignores the creativity of the teacher or anyone and the critical thinking. अपना कुछ नहीं सोच सकता है एक टीचर ट्रेनी. वही हो सकता है जो उसको फीडबैक मिल रहा है, इसको वही इम्प्रूव करना है. And that makes the teaching very mechanical. इससे वो mechanical लगता है teaching है. So these are the limitations of this behavioristic model. So let's move towards the another model. So let's discuss another model, that is competency based teacher education model. इसको CBTE भी बोला जाता है. And this model focuses on developing specific competencies like skills, knowledge, attitude required for effective teaching. तो CBT का फोकस होता है स्पेसिफिक स्किल्स, स्पेसिफिक कॉम्पिटेंसीज को डेवलप करना, यानी स्किल्स, नॉलेज और एटीट्यूड जो एक इफेक्टिव टीचर के लिए बहुत जरूरी होते हैं. So its focus is on what a teacher should be able to do, not how much knowledge a teacher has. So here we can take the example of a boy who wants to learn driving a car. So in competency based model, the person is told the competencies. उसको एक list दिया जाता है competencies का, abilities का, capabilities का that they should master. In this case, the person should have the ability of steering control, gear shifting, braking properly, and following traffic rules. So here in CBTE, what skills are required, those are defined. So किसी specific skill को achieve करने के लिए कौन सी skills होनी चाहिए, कौन सी competencies होनी चाहिए, CBTE में ये बताया जाता है. Here the instructor says, today practice only braking, tomorrow focus on steering control, and then combine all the skills step by step. So it is like micro teaching. माइक्रो टीचिंग में एक स्किल को एक टाइम पे प्रैक्टिस किया जाता है विद प्रॉपर फीडबैक. तो यहाँ सीबीटीई में क्या किया जाता है, इसको इस मॉडल के जरिए एक लिस्ट दिया जाता है, कॉम्पिटेंसीज का लिस्ट दिया जाता है कोई स्पेसिफिक स्किल अचीव करने के लिए, और उसको प्रैक्टिस करना होता है वन स्किल एट अ टाइम, like micro teaching. So similarly in teacher education, the teacher trainee is given a list of competencies like classroom management, communication skills, lesson planning. Here through CBTE, the trainee is trained and assessed on each competency. So this is competency based education. Let's take the example of that young teacher. So once the teacher trainee is given a list of competencies she needed to master, like how to manage a classroom, how to explain a concept clearly, how to ask effective questions to the students, and how to engage every student, so the trainee starts working on one competency at a time. First, the trainee practices classroom management. She learned how to maintain discipline in the calm and respectful way. Then she focused on explaining concepts. Instead of just reading from the book, she started using examples from daily life. Her mentor observed her class and gave feedback. Feedback क्या दिया जाता है ऐसे, good, but try asking more open-ended questions. So she worked on questioning skills now. Gradually, students started listening more carefully. They began answering questions, and the classroom becomes more interactive. So she realized that she was not just teaching, she was developing competencies step by step. So after a few months, her mentor said, now you are not just a teacher, you are a competent teacher. So the message of the story is that it focuses on what a teacher can actually do, not just what they know in CBT. So it develops specific skills, knowledge and attitude step by step, and it ensures that the teacher achieves mastery before moving ahead. आगे बढ़ने से पहले उसको पिछला पहले पता होना चाहिए. So the key features of this competency based model are that it has a clearly defined competencies, and the focus is on performance and mastery, and it has a continuous assessment इसमें होता है, and the individualized learning pace, that means learner अपनी speed से सीख सकता है यहाँ पे. But so far as the competency based teacher education is concerned, it has its own limitations. So limitations क्या है इसके, it can become too rigid sometimes, and it may ignore broader educational values, and the overemphasis on the assessment and continuous evaluation may create pressure on teachers, and the focus shifts from learning to performance measurement. Teachers may hesitate to try new methods. Innovation is reduced due to fixed competencies, क्योंकि clearly defined competencies होते हैं जिसकी वजह से innovation reduce हो जाता है, एक critical thinking reduce हो जाती है. So this was all about the competency based teacher education. Let's move towards another model now. So now let's discuss another model, that is inquiry oriented teacher education model. This model focuses on developing reflective, critical and research oriented teachers. Here the focus is on thinking, questioning and problem solving. Here we can take the example of a girl who loves gardening. One day she noticed that her plants were slowly dying. Instead of just following fixed instructions, she stopped and thought, Why are my plants dying? She began asking questions. Am I giving too much water? Is the sunlight enough? Is the soil healthy? She didn't guess, she investigated. One day she watered less, and another day she changed the plant's position for better sunlight. She even checked the soil quality. After a few days, she noticed that the plants placed in the sunlight started recovering. The little girl realized that the problem was the lack of sunlight, not water. So let's apply the inquiry-oriented model here. The girl did not follow fixed steps. जैसे हम fixed steps follow करते हैं पिछले वाले मॉडल में competency based मॉडल में, वैसे इस मॉडल में नहीं है. आपको कोई भी fixed steps follow नहीं करने हैं. Here the girl asked questions to herself. She experimented and observed, and she found solutions through thinking. So now we can apply this inquiry-oriented model to teaching. So when the teacher trainee notices that the students are not participating in the class, for example, instead of following a fixed method, she asks, why are students not engaging? What strategies can improve participation? And she experiments with group discussions and activities. So this is inquiry-oriented teaching, learning through questioning and investigation. So here we can derive certain key features for of this model, of the inquiry oriented model. That is, the focus is on reflection and inquiry, and it encourages critical thinking and use of action researches here. यहाँ पे action research एक teacher researcher का काम करता है. So teacher becomes a researcher here. For example, conducting classroom research to find best teaching methods and the reasons for student difficulties. Students को क्यों difficulties आ रही हैं, वो research करता है method, वो research करता है teacher. So it has this inquiry oriented model has its own limitations that it is time consuming. इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा time क्योंकि research में बहुत time चाहिए होता है, and it requires high level thinking. So this is the limitation, and it's all about the inquiry oriented model. So let's map the models from mechanical repetition to critical reflection through a story journey of teachers' growth. Imagine a teacher at the beginning of her career. At first, she focuses on doing. She follows instructions, practices teaching skills, and repeats what she has learned. This is the behavioristic stage. Slowly she improves and starts performing. She not only teaches but does it effectively, mastering skills like explanations, questioning, and the classroom management. This is called a competency-based stage. With experience, she begins thinking. She reflects, questions her methods, and solves classroom problems creatively. This is the inquiry-oriented stage. So a teacher's journey moves from doing to performing to thinking, and that is how true professional growth happens. A teacher first learns to act, then to perform, and finally to think. So now let's understand the comparison between the three models, the diagnostic matrix of the core dimensions of teacher education. So far as behavioristic model is concerned, its primary focus is on teaching behavior, and its fundamental nature is mechanical and skill based. So far as competency based teaching model is concerned, its primary focus is on teaching competencies, and the fundamental nature is that it is performance based. So far as inquiry oriented model is concerned, its primary focus is that it is based on reflection and research, and its fundamental nature is that it is critical and flexible. So after understanding all the models, now the question arises in our mind that which model can be used. If all the models have limitations, तो कौन सा model एक teacher use करे classroom में? So we can use an eclectic approach, a mixed model approach. This means that you select and combine the best elements of different models depending on the topic, depending on the students, and depending on the classroom situation. Simple classroom example we will take. Imagine you are teaching a topic like fractions. What can be used now? How can we use all the models together in a mixed approach? So in the step 1, use behavioristic model. Here, teach basic concepts clearly, give practice and repetition. It will help in skill building. In the step second, we can use the competency-based model. Like we check if the students can actually solve the problem. It can focus on performance and mastery. And in step 3, use inquiry-oriented model. That means ask questions like, where do you use fractions in the daily life? Ask to the students. So it develops thinking and understanding part of the children. So in one lesson, you are using all the models together. Y combination works best because each model gives something different. Like behavioristic gives the basic skills, competency based model gives the efficiency and mastery, and the inquiry oriented model gives the critical thinking and creativity. So together they make teaching complete and effective. So in conclusion, we can say that since all the teaching models have limitations, teachers should adopt an eclectic approach combining different models according to the needs of the learners and the classroom situations. A good teacher is not one who follows model blindly, but one who adapts, mixes and applies models wisely. So dear learners, if you have any doubts, feel free to comment. I will definitely respond and even upload a video to explain it. This topic is not only important for UGC NET, B.Ed or CTET aspirants, but also for the teachers who want to give a professional touch to their teaching, even if they have not received any formal training. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe for more regular updates on effective teaching. Thank you.